Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for more WBE coverage, this time with StephofAnime and the Golden State Glaceons. Let's hit it. Alright guys, here we have it. There is the Golden State Glaceons on the left-hand side of the field. Let's go ahead and talk about the gears. Gears for this team, I think, are very prevalent just based on the first two picks for the Gmax and the Tier 1 pick here. We're either going to see some speedy, supporty Pokemon, or we're going to see a nice hard Trick Room. Obviously, the hard Trick Room team being Gmax, Snorlax. We also have the Jellicent and the Claydol to be able to set it up. And also Tangela for redirection. Any of those combination probably we could see coming out front. Bunch of different move options that we'll talk about when we start breaking down the Pokemon, but definitely a hard Trick Room team. At the same time, we'll talk about gear number 2, the speed tier. The speed tier team here is going to be reliant on Cinderace with Libero. By far, the amount of max airstreams coming out of Cinderace could speed up some of these mid to higher end speed tier Pokemon like Toxicity, Riolu, the Corviknight, and even the Galarian Linoone could be sped up here to really get into that high speed tier that this team needs to outspeed some non-Trick Room teams. Alright, let's break it down with Poke highlights. From the top, we have Gmax Snorlax. Gmax Snorlax super strong with Gmax Replenish as its ability to replenish those berries as it's getting them. Usually it's ran with Gluttony and Zero Speed to make sure that it eats that berry, it recycles that berry, and it just keeps going while it's in that Gmax form. Also, super strong just in general with Snorlax. It gets moves like Body Press, Body Slam, it can run Curse Lax, it can also run supportive moves like Yawn as well to make it a monster on the field, regardless of the set. Next up, we're talking our Libero boy again. I already covered Gmax Cinderace, so nothing too much different on this one. Pretty much exactly the same kind of sets ran with Bounce, Sucker Punch, Pyro Ball, and possibly Protect. There are just a bunch of different moves that you can run with Cinderace in order to try and mix and match its typing for Libero to be able to definitely block with some immunities as well. It'll be definitely interesting to see what movesets Steph runs to help support her team. After that, I picked the Amp form of Toxicity just because I think it looks better overall. Low-key form, come fight me. But Toxicity, super strong pick. We've already covered the Gmax version of this as well, but still super strong with Throat Spray. Great signature ability in Punk Rock to be able to boost its sound-based attacks. Boom Burst, Overdrive, Sludge Bomb. It can run a variety of special attacking moves, get that special attack boost with the Throat Spray, and be able to dish out some major damage at a reasonably high speed tier of 100. After that, we have Trick Room setter number 1, Trick Room Prime as I like to call it, one of the best Trick Room setters in Jellicent. Jellicent is super strong because of its bulkiness. It can run very supportive sets as well. It gets access to Soak, it gets access to Trick Room, it gets access to Imprison. Just the ability to run this Pokemon in, make sure to lock out any other support moves going down, set up Trick Room for its team, and just sit there and last. And don't sleep on a fully specially offensive one with Water Spout as well. It does major amounts of damage coming off of it that is usually unexpected from a Jellicent. After that, we have Tangela, what I'm calling the redirection for Steph's team. Obviously, Tangela running Rage Powder here. It can run Eviolite to be very defensive, especially and physically. It does have a good special attack stat as well at, I think, base 100. So we could definitely see some Leech Seeding, some Sleep Powders coming off, Rage Powder as well, and maybe Giga Drain or something just for survivability stance. But Tangela, probably still just a little short of its older brother Tangrowth. But that's okay. Still a good pick for a tier 3. After that, we have Riolu. Riolu actually, I think, is going to be super important for this team because it has Speed Swap. And the ability to come in and say, you know what, Snorlax? I got you covered. Take my speed tier instead. And have a super fast, bulky Snorlax doing major amounts of damage. This might be the weirdest set ever purely because it's going to be so unexpected for teams to be like, I never expected the Riolu to come in. I figured it was just going to sit in the back the entire time, and I forgot about Speed Swap. Definitely not a move to be slept on. Also, in general for Riolu, a good special attacker. D-Gleam, as always, also can run Moonblast for single target of death. Great with Bug Buzz and Protect as well. After that, we got Kangaskhan here. Kangaskhan, a tier 4 pick, but a very strong one at that. It's got Fake Out. It's got a bunch of supportive moves. but I can actually see Steph running this one as an offensive Kangaskhan here and there. A max strike coming out of this thing and lowering speed on people with either Facade or Body Slam, one of the high physical max normal type moves. It could just do a monstrous amount of damage as long as she's not facing a ghost type. After that, we have our little pup in Riolu. Riolu obviously going to be super strong with this team with the signature move coaching that just recently came out to be able to boost that physical offense and defense stat. I can see this coming out with Snorlax almost every time. It's obviously got Prankster as its ability, so for it to get those signature things off immediately with Prankster and then let its partner in the back do major amounts of work. Obviously can run Fake Out as well, Bullet Punch, Drain Punch. It's got the full moveset of Lucario, just on mini form. After that, we got our bulky boy in Corviknight here. Corviknight, another great bring for this team for another coaching setup strategy with Riolu. I don't think we'll see too much of Corviknight and Snorlax on the same team at the same time, but definitely another great bring. Body Press, Brave Bird, Tailwind setting as well in Corviknight. I don't think this Pokemon really gives a hoot about us. Get it? Because it's Claydol, who kind of looks like an owl. Yeah. It's not Noctowl. It's fine. I won't take offense. We've got Claydol. Claydol, a fantastic Pokemon. Another fantastic Trick Room setter. It's got the ground immunity coming in with Levitate. It's also got great ability to come in on certain switches to take moves. It can run Light Clay. It can set screens. It's got Protect. It's got the ability to just be a monster of a support Pokemon for this team, especially being able to set Trick Room as well. And finally, in the back, we have our Crest Toothpaste in Galarian Linoone. Galarian Linoone, I think Steph described it as a budget Alolan Persian, so I'm going to give her credit for that one and say, yeah, she's probably about right. It's got access to Fake Out, it can do Icy Wind, it's got supportive moves out the wazoo, it can run Helping Hand as well. Super important for this team to have supporters for the big strikers in Cinderace, Snorlax, Kangaskhan, and even Corviknight. Just really important to have that support core to be able to let those damage dealers dish out some major damage. Next up, we're talking leads. First off lead, I think we're always going to see is a Riolu and something. Riolu, super strong to bring for this team. Yes, it's not Lucario, yes, it's not as bulky, but still really important for the Prankster ability to come off here into Snorlax, into Corviknight, even into Kangaskhan. It's also got Fake Out potential as well. Just a super important Pokemon to support out front for this team. We could see it going Trick Room, we could see it going Speed instead. Either way, Riolu a strong bring out front. Secondary lead team, I'm going to say, is Kangaskhan something else. There's nothing more frightening to me than not being able to predict what a Pokemon is running, and Kangaskhan is one of them. Kangaskhan obviously super strong, as we previously mentioned. It can be a supportive set and run Fake Out and other smaller type moves to support the Pokemon it's standing next to, but realistically, I think a lot of people might sleep on the offensive Kangaskhan set and suddenly be in trouble when it Dynamaxes and just starts dealing max strike damage out the wazoo. Obviously, great coverage with any Ghost-type Pokemon that the enemy team may have, but overall, I think a big pick for variety coming out front. Alright, on to the gaps. The gaps for this team, again, pretty simple. It's a very standard Trick Room team in maintaining speed control. Obviously, they've got two good Trick Room setters in Jellicent and Claydol. They also have one good redirector with Tangela, but the bulk of this team is very reliant on Trick Room staying up, not getting taken down, or being very speedy and sped up with Cinderace or Tailwind from Corviknight. So speed control here, we have a bunch of different options, but none of them I feel like are the best to actually lay out against half these teams. You really have to commit to one of these strategies in order to thrive in it, and right now I'm feeling like the team has just that mid-level of speed tier across the board for the majority of these Pokemon to not really know whether they actually want to be playing in Trick Room or want to be playing in the wind. Match to watch this week is going to be week 1 of the WBE. We highlighted it on Friday a little bit in seeing the Melbourne Rotoms go against StephofAnime. Super important match to watch to understand some of the very good concepts of the WBE and the very different teams that we have coming into it. Make sure to go give Steph and Cybertron Zang some love. Alright, there you guys have it. We are done another one. I think we're down to 2 remaining WBE teams, which hopefully will be out before all the week 2 matches are up. As always, make sure you go give Steph some love on her team builder up over here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button up over here for our WBE coverage. And make sure you catch us for the next one. Peace.